What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of High Mythology, the show where we get higher than the full moon and tell you guys silly stories from mythology and folklore. Yeah, this week will be our Halloweeny episode.
Fantastic.
Getting all Halloweened up in here.
Tell me what you dressed up as.
Yeah. Let us know. I want to know. I'm curious. What did you dress up as?
I'm a surfboard.
What did I dress up as? I don't know. It's not there yet for us, but it's there for you.
Oh, you're a giant yak, remember?
I'm a giant yak. Yak.
I'm going to be a Totoro.
Totoro. As always, a comfy Totoro.
That is my costume of choice every year.
Yeah. So this week, for the Halloween style, Halloween time, we're going to talk about some werewolves.
Woo.
In mythology and folklore. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got a few interesting different werewolfery occasions throughout mythology to talk about. I'm kind of excited.
I'm excited to hear about these.
Yeah, it's funny too because I forgot.
Let's make fun of these weirdos.
That two of them we already covered. Let's make fun of these weirdos. Sucks to suck, nerd. And the Celtic werewolf said, sucks to suck, loser.
Exactly. See, the difference there in culture is one word actually means worse than the other, but
yeah,
it's practically the same. Still sucks to be a loser.
It still sucks to suck. Yeah. Yeah, a couple of these we had already covered.
If we were sponsored, we'd be telling you what kind of weed we'd be smoking. But yeah, since we're not sponsored,
I ain't gonna tell you. Shh.
Sponsors.
Just gotta get them sponsors.
Just putting you out there, man.
Yeah.
Contact us.
What's our contact? Yeah, figure it out. You can find us. Yeah, so we got some classics going all the way back to the OG Gilgamesh. Oh, what's
you're not going to tell us?
Yeah, Howley.
How do we contact for sponsorship?
At Howley_boys on Twitter is a good way to get to us.
Boom.
Send us a message there. Everyone's got a Twitter.
Sorry, Dustin's my tech dude. I know none of this shit. I just sit back and read stories.
Yeah. Which is weird because we're mixing it up this week. This week I'm talking about it.
I know, and I'm not funny like you, so I have to really think about this.
There's a lot of fucked up stories. There's some stuff that's going to be hard to make fun of, I guess, because there's some dark subject matter that kind of goes around werewolfery,
Sounds right.
Hard to crack a joke about 100 people dying in France.
It was La Plague.
La Plague. No, Le Wolf.
Yeah.
That's the French wolf sound. Le
Oh, eventually we'll do the aloo.
Yeah, I am a werewolf, but I like to smoke long cigarettes and wear beret hats. The beast of Chevaton.
Strapped shirts.
I wear my strapped shirts. Yeah. Oh, look at me.
I drink fancy wine.
Yeah. Aren't you going to eat people? No, I only eat foie gras. Oh, so yeah, first OG werewolf, one of the oldest, and it's, I don't know, I'll leave it up to you folks. Let us know if we should count it. Is Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh? Which, if you want to hear more in depth about it, I'm just going to kind of gloss over it because we did a whole series about
story. We did the story.
Episode, a whole episode about Gilgamesh, the epic, the hella epic.
Some good photos in there. You guys check that one out.
Mm-hmm. It was a good one, but basically it's not necessarily a werewolf, but it is the wolf human transformation where Gilgamesh goes to get with the lady and finds out that she's turned all of her ex-lovers into wolves.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he kills her.
It's like Beauty and the Beast.
Or he just scorns her. I scorn you with a mat of chest hair.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I won't turn you into a wolf.
Flame a little
You have too much chest hair.
It glistens so brightly.
It glistens so bright. How is it always oiled?
By using Viking beard oil.
Yeah.
Salty
Uruk beard oil. Yeah.
It's jojoba seed
Get that
oil.
beard
Okay.
square. Yeah. So that was pretty much that. Look up Gilgamesh. Look up our episode on Gilgamesh if you want to get more in depth on the wolf lady relationship that he happened to have. But it is a very minor part of their story. And like I said, it's hard to necessarily count it, I feel like. Because it's not like a werewolf as much as it's just
transformation.
People getting turned into wolves.
Like some Harry Potter
I don't know
shit.
if they keep their human
Maggie Smith jumping into a cat formation.
meow.
Jump into a wolf formation. Boof.
Wolf. Yeah. But the next one, and this one actually inspired a lot of what makes the modern day werewolf. Because you hear the term all the time when werewolves are talking about lycanthropy.
Ooh.
Lycanthropy. I don't know which way it's pronounced. Yeah.
I thought it was lichen.
It's lichen. Yeah.
Thank you, Underworld.
Lycanthropy, though? Is it lycanthropy or is it lycanthropy? Like philanthropy. God. Or is that philanthropy?
I thought they just called them lichens.
Lichen. Yes. So we are talking about King Lycaon. Lycaon in ancient Greece. And this one is interesting because they believe that this myth was created kind of as an excuse for their games. It was like the Lycanius games. But they would dress up like wolves and sometimes consume human flesh. The whole myth behind it stems from this myth of King Lycaon. That's
Jesus
why.
Fuck.
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to be a little hard.
We have a buffet of children ages 9 to 12 over here. We have the adult formations, the nice aged meat, 45 to 50.
Yeah. The funny thing, too, is it sounds like, from the way that they talked about it, that there were also like Olympic-style games. So could you just see that?
How far can you throw this arm?
And you're like, oh yeah, no, I won the javelin toss. What did you win? Dressing up like a wolf and eating somebody.
Oh.
Okay.
Good luck in
life. Have a nice day. I'm going to go not here. Yeah.
I'm going as far away from here.
As far away from here as possible. And I will throw javelins if you come at me.
I will invent the catapult just to keep you away.
Yeah, but Lycaon was a king in Arcadia, and he was punished by Zeus at one point. So basically, there's multiple different versions of what happened in the story, but the basis is Lycaon had a bunch of children, like 50, I think it was.
Me.
Yeah. He was just
popping them out. God, at that point, what did you call that shit? Throwing a hot dog down a hallway?
Yeah. God. I assume he had multiple wives.
I hope so.
He didn't do it over 50 years.
That doesn't sound fair.
So if it was one, just... it was like 4 ladies with 10 babies.
Fucking horrible, dude. Keep that shit in your pants, you nasty fuck.
But his children basically populated the whole country. Or their whole city-state.
That's all their people. Just this family.
They took over and made a bunch of cities, and that's how Arcadia. That was like their origin of Arcadia.
It's like cheaper by the dozen with like 6 nannies.
Yeah. Send them over there and tell them to call it a town. But Lycaon was kind of a dick, and he was known for being impious. He didn't give a fuck about the gods. Especially Zeus.
Fuck you,
he thought Zeus could suck on his nuts.
Oh.
And didn't like him. Yeah.
Pitiful.
But Zeus eventually came to his country.
Hey!
Came to Arcadia, and he was just walking around doing Zeusly shit. Which they make it sound like he was doing godly shit, but I assume being that it's Zeus, he was probably
just fucking
helicoptering his dong around.
Sounds right.
Getting into trouble. Yeah. He's
Making
good.
hair
What
all
was he
pissed.
doing? He was doing very Zeus-like godly things. So sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that. That's how we knew it was Zeus. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Zeus was coming through his country and he heard about it. There's kind of two different versions, there's a lot of different versions, but two things that I liked from different versions. Where one was he was just coming there, and another one was he was coming to town, but he had also been banging Lycaon's wife.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sounds
and
right.
they had had a kid together,
Ooh.
which Lycaon was raising as his youngest.
Oh,
But
shit.
he found out and was mad. And the other version is basically he just said fuck Zeus and invited him to dinner. But either way, he convinced Zeus to show up at his house for dinner. And then the youngest boy got cut up and cooked in with the meat.
Chili con carne.
Yeah. Welcome to my chili con carne. Oh yeah, he did that move and
That's
tried to
so
serve it to Zeus.
fucked.
But Zeus, being Zeus, was like, I am not going to eat this because that is clearly a little kid mixed in with the meat, and flipped the table and got really mad.
Man.
He got real mad. Yeah. I'm so mad. I'm Zeus. Pachow, thunderbolt. Yeah. And so when there, and there's also two different kind of ways it went here. One way they said was that that Lycaon had also invited a lot of his family, and that Zeus, when he realized it was a kid, struck them all down with lightning bolts, and then for Lycaon, turned him into a wolf.
You fuck now, motherfucker.
Yeah, you a wolf now, motherfucker. Yeah,
Get back.
but he was basically the first werewolf.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because the other version says
What a horrible story.
that he turned all of them into wolves, and then there's another version that says
Big ass
he
pack.
only turned Lycaon into a wolf, and his sons weren't there.
They became coyotes instead.
Yeah, no, either way, the entire kingdom got flooded.
Apes.
Within the next 5 years. And that was part of it. They blamed the flood on Lycaon and his impious sons.
Jesus. Well, at least we prevented Kevin from being entered into the world for just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Now that technology has brought us together, we have discovered that we have a higher Kevin rate than normal. Another flood is soon due.
Yeah.
Since Antarctica is breaking off, we will eventually have another one.
Florida.
Hey.
But yeah, it's I feel like it's interesting.
Careful, my good people of Florida.
Interesting either way, because he's also supposed to have had children as a wolf, I'm pretty sure.
Well, of course, you're going to go find some fucking wolf.
Some wolf poon. Yeah, exactly.
That,
he's like, well,
why wouldn't you?
You're a wolf now. Well, better go get some wolf.
You can smell when a woman's in heat from fucking 50 miles away now. It's way better.
Anybody going to eat my dead sons? Nobody?
No?
Okay.
And no takers? I will.
Okay. I'm a wolf.
I'll eat it.
I'll eat it. Yeah. But it's kind of a dick move to try to kill your own kid. To kill.
Dude.
Either way, to kill the kid. And the kid also was resurrected. And,
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that's sad.
In pretty much all of the stories, regardless, the kid gets resurrected, and I'm pretty sure he gets to become king of Arcadia.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Learn about this planetary of Arcadia.
Arcadia?
People. I saw some of that shit where people are signing up to join some Arcadian shit. Be the first people out in space.
Oh, that's Asgardia. Is it?
No, I think it's Arcadia. I'm pretty sure it's Arcadia.
Oh.
The International Space Agency of people who fucking have to pay 300 euro to sign up to become a citizen.
I'm a citizen of space.
And you get a second ID for him.
I'm so reminded of the Rick and Morty where he points out everything is in space. I get to be in space. Everything, literally everything is in space.
Mm-hmm. That's where your planet is.
That's where your planet is. That's where you are.
It's where I am.
It's where I am.
It's where the world is.
It's where they all are.
Now, if you're floating in space, we gotta talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's something to talk about. But you probably shouldn't waste your oxygen.
Yeah.
So the next on, I'm gonna move on to another mention where I'm gonna send you to another episode if you want to get the full story. But the Norse, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. They had their werewolves. They had their giant wolves too, but they had kind of a almost more traditional werewolf in the way that they had in the Volsung saga. Check out our episode on the Volsung saga if you want the full story.
We're not telling it to you.
No, but I'll give you the breakdown. Basically, is Sigurd and his, I believe it's his father.
Two homies
find wolf skins that they can put on, and they become werewolves. Basically,
like a fuck sheep.
They become giant wolves. They go fuck sheep. No, they go kill stuff, and eventually they have to take some herbs to get over it. Because they're like, we can't just keep being wolves. This is shitty. We've got other things to do. Sigurd's like, I've still got a Brunhilde I've got to go get.
I told you guys a story about fucking Sleeping Beauty and her fucking werewolf husband. Remember that shit? Like, evil queen. Want her stepdaughters to be queen. King left for a fucking little campaign and shit. She's like, I fell in love, Papa.
I fell in love, Papa.
And like, so she tries to get her boyfriend to fall in love with her daughter instead. And he's like, fuck you, bitch. And then she like curses him and turns him into a wolf.
Oh.
And then she's like, I have to go to the top of this hill. I followed this lily through the forest.
I followed the lily. Yeah.
And the wolf found me.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of, what we're moving on to next there.
I don't know which episode.
It's kind of more folklore-y once we hit the folklore ages. Where we're moving into some Celtic myths and legends and folk tales. And they have a lot.
Hide the potatoes.
There's a wolf about. And they have a lot. And they actually get more werewolfy. Like, there's stories that involve silver bullets. I believe that's when that kind of starts.
I thought Christianity brought that shit in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of the stories are Celtic. Some of the stories are Irish. But after the Christians came, so there's that Christian twist on it. Basically, one major thing though is with them, a lot of it's not necessarily like an isolated thing. It was a lot of them believed in folklore and their mythology that like their warriors were werewolves.
Fuck yeah, I saw American Werewolf in London. I know what you're talking about. I saw that plaque in that bar.
Beware the Moors.
Exactly. Like, I know they fucking believe in their shit. There's like people who believe in like the fairies and the fairy hills and shit. It's crazy.
But yeah, they were even to the point where it was mainly because they would actually put on wolf skins and get all high and fucking go into battle that way. And it was even they called raiding and battling, they called it to go wolfing.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the background of it. As far as like their belief in werewolves.
I imagine they just ran out into like the barnyards and started fucking all the farmers' sheep.
Let's go wolfing.
Like they think that they're doing some heroic shit by like beating like poor citizens and shit and murdering.
They just run into towns and they just set them on fire. We did a good job of wolfing, didn't we? Aye, we did. Could anyone see what was going on? No, my mask doesn't have eye holes.
I was just fucking a sheep the whole time. That's all I could see. I'm like, how do they know they did anything? Did people tell them later? I'm like, dude, you fucking were stripped down naked. You were running butt ass naked through the fucking pig shit. It was the weirdest thing.
The weirdest thing.
Then you got down on your back and started crab walking through a field of dicks. I don't know how that happened.
You get interesting. Crab walking through a field of dicks. Welcome to the horror. But yeah, there's a ton of werewolf folk tales spread throughout the area. There was one that the basis of it was that a guy loses his sheep and goes to look for it, and finds a cabin in the woods with someone cooking. And they invite him in for dinner, and then one by one wolves come in to the house, and they go into the back room and they come out people. And sit down at the table until the table's full.
Let me go in here and take off my suit.
Hey, I wasn't that wolf that just walked in. I promise.
No, man, my name's Curtis. I'm the local grocer.
My name's Curtis. Ooh. Oh, sorry. Why are you peeing on me, Curtis?
Oh, you smell like you belong to me.
Yeah. But when it came time for dinner, he found out that they were all werewolves and they were going to eat him. And one of them spared him because he had saved a wolf pup when he was young.
Aww.
And he's like, bro, I am that pup.
I remember you.
I remember when you saw that wolf and you gave it some food and you were like, bye-bye, wolf.
Live another day.
Live another day.
Get your strength.
Yeah, I'm that guy. Yeah, but then he woke up because apparently they roofied him.
Oh, shit.
And he woke up in a field.
See, guys, it don't feel good.
A wolf came, and it was chasing. It was chasing, I think, 3 new cows for him.
Oh, dude.
And just brought him 3 cows.
Hey, thanks, man.
We gave him a little nod as it walked over the hill, and he's like, I know that wolf.
Oh, my God, I love the dude nods.
Dude nod, yeah.
I don't know why.
Dude nod.
I love the silent nods.
Back.
I think they're fucking hilarious to me. Don't even gotta say anything. Head bump.
Yeah. Then that was an interesting one, and it's another one where it's borderline. It's more just people turning into wolves.
Oh, that's
but it's
more like transformation.
Yeah, but I found it funny because basically the king's nephews are a couple assholes, and they raped one of the virgin handmaids.
Asshole.
And they basically, when they receive their sentence, they're given they're struck with a magical stick by the king. And he turns them into a stag and a hind, a male and female deer.
Oh.
And then
they get raped by each other.
They fuck each other. Yes. That is actually a thing. They fuck each other for 1 whole year.
Wow.
And then the next year
they change.
Yeah, he didn't like that. So he changed them into a boar and a sow. And they fucked again for a whole year.
They just reversed the sexes. They just reversed,
yeah. And then finally the king was like, God damn it. And he turned them into a male and a female wolf.
And then they had
puppies. And they fucked for a whole year.
Jesus. And, I don't think you understand,
and then the king
bro.
restored them to their human forms and said the original rape is now restituted. And let them go. Gwydion, one of them, actually transformed into a godlike figure at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, guys, there are ancient stories where we still have to make stories of saying why you shouldn't rape.
Because the king will turn you into a stag and then your brother will fuck you. That's probably the worst part for them is when they turn back to human.
Well,
and he's like,
The most
I can't
consensual
look at you
sex
anymore.
ever.
Yeah. Are you going to rape a handmaiden? No, not anymore. I'm just fucking my brother.
Exactly. I'm like, you turned it into an incest thing now.
And the king turned himself into a guy who was on vacation.
I'm going to take 5 on this. Good luck.
Yeah. That plan completely backfired.
Let the royal vizier take care of it.
Yeah.
Jafar?
I knew I should have turned him into a wolf and a stag.
Because then they would have eaten each other. No punishment would have been served.
They eat each other's butts.
They eat each other's butts.
Yeah, and then there's another one later on about a priest who, because it's past the Christian time. Speaking of eating butts. And he comes across a wolf in the woods. And the wolf is mad at him and he asks it not to eat him. And the wolf does it. The wolf just sits down and is like, okay, I won't eat you, but we're going to have a nice long talk. And recites some gospel to him and explains the situation where him and his wife were cursed. And every 7 years, they have to shed their human skin and they become wolves.
Ooh.
And then they have to be wolves for 7 years.
Jesus.
And then they can turn back into people.
You gotta start your whole farm right over again. You better scare those hunters off your land every time.
Yeah.
7 years, you gotta stick it out. Who's gonna feed the chickens?
Yeah. Well, we're just going to eat them.
I know, right? We gotta start all over.
Wolves. Yeah. But yeah. And the priest dude is nice enough that he blesses them and removes their curse and lets them go back to being husband and wife as people.
And then comes by every time they have children.
I'll take that.
Gotta make sure it stays holy.
Yeah. No, but the funniest part about this is this story is that it almost ties in with history. Because of the fact that I'm pretty sure that saint or that priest guy actually existed, and he used that story to get all the way to the Vatican and get high honors.
Well, it could be a thing like fucking Davy Crockett, you know.
So that means it's completely reliable, like 100% reliable, right?
Well, it could be like that Davy Crockett story.
Davy Crockett, king of the world,
just a senator. He wasn't
congressman.
He didn't do any of that shit.
He went to the Alamo.
He visited, but he wasn't a part of it.
No, he was part of the Alamo. He died there. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't say much for him being a badass because he literally went to the Alamo and then died.
He got fucking pneumonia and just gone.
But I still love the fact that he punched a dude in Congress and then yelled at everyone, "You may all go to hell, but I shall go to Texas."
That is a great thing.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. Even though he wasn't from Texas, he was clearly Texan.
Yep.
But yeah, that was all a PR man where a guy made up stories about Davy Crockett.
Yeah.
And that's how he was the king of the wild
So
frontier.
I'm kind of thinking that's the same thing going on with the priest here.
I mean, he literally used it to get the biggest promotion out of anywhere.
You know, back in the day, you could have made up shit. I mean, look at the Salem witch trials.
Yeah. But it's also
that was like, what, 100 years ago? 120 years ago?
So.
See? Not really that long ago.
It's not.
We had people who could fucking made up, before we even discovered a map, we had people making up countries that didn't exist, telling people to buy property there, and they did.
I still own 500 acres in Hyperborea. I've got to find it first. But
I have the contract right here.
And I also have a condo in Atlantis.
It's between Mexico and Panama.
It's between Mexico and somewhere else in the world.
Just before you hit Brazil.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
What? Yeah. But no, it was another interesting thing too is probably where the priest got the idea to do this was because the ancient kings of that area of Ireland were also said to be those wolfers, those wolf warriors.
Oh, shit.
Where they could turn into fucking wolves in battle.
So those people took acid for 7 years straight and then stayed sober for 7 years?
Oh.
Oh, my God.
No, the people probably didn't even exist.
Ah.
If I had to guess that. But the ancient kings of that area.
Definitely.
Sorry,
They also believed in Finn McCool.
Yeah, exactly. They were hanging with Finn McCool. Hey!
The 10-foot child.
Hey! Hey, guys, it's Finn McCool. Hey!
Don't eat that fish.
Oh!
My thumb.
My thumb.
I'm super strong now.
And I'm a man now. Yeah, but that's a lot. That's a lot of the Celtic. We're gonna get into some in the future too. I'm sure we're gonna dive into some individually in the future.
Oh, I got vampire stories and shit lined up.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
I got vampires lined up. Yeah,
I found one old school.
I've got vampires online too. We're gonna have to ditch the werewolf.
We might have to save it for next year though. I'm not gonna go into fucking Halloween into the middle of Thanksgiving.
Into the middle of Thanksgiving. Ooh.
Which we'll definitely be taking that week off.
Yes.
By the way.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we're gonna eat
we got
food.
Stuff. We got stuff got families to meet.
Families.
People to introduce.
People to talk to. Okay. Yeah. On that note, we're moving on. The next werewolf I want to talk about, and this one is also another one of those where it's on the borderline because it's like folklore and history at the same time.
Just like Game of
Thrones.
Where
like we believe, just like Game of Thrones, that all really happened. It's totally real.
Just saying.
In case you didn't know, that's how dragons came to England.
Duh. Not like in Rain where they just fucking cracked a mine hole and just unleashed a shit ton out of an underground sinkhole cave.
Hey, I've seen weirder things come out of cracked mine holes.
Take a look into my chocolate starfish.
Look into my chocolate starfish. Oh no, that's a dragon! So, we're moving on to France. We're talking about France. France.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Naturellement. Oui, oui. I am the French werewolf. I smoke cigarettes under the moonlight.
I smoke cigarettes under the moonlight, and I catcall us a pretty pussies.
Oh. Peppy love you.
Sorry.
Oh, God. Anytime someone...
As a werewolf.
Peppy le werewolf. Oh. Look at my wolf mustache. Oh, shit.
I drink my wine and eat my cheese.
I eat my cheese.
I'll take that.
Oh, yeah. So the subject we're getting into, not nearly as funny as I'm making it sound.
But we can.
Oh, yeah. Just do the whole thing in a very offensive French accent.
Thank you.
The beast of Gévaudan. Sacre bleu. The beast of Gévaudan.
You brainless lunatic.
You brainless lunatic. Yeah.
Sorry.
Basically. Basically. The Beast of Gévaudan was a historical, was a big giant man dog wolf thing that roamed an area of France called Gévaudan.
Well, now we know why it's called the Wolf of Gévaudan.
Now we know the Beast of Gévaudan. It's a very good movie about it. The Brotherhood of the Wolf.
That is a fantastic movie.
It's a fantastic movie, and it's all about the Beast of Javaldon.
If you guys haven't checked that one out, it's old school, but it's fucking worth it. It's good.
Yeah.
Just get used to the fact that it's dubbed.
Dubbed.
But it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So basically in Javaldon, in these mountains in central France, from 1764 to 1767, attacks in an area which covered 90 by 80 kilometers, 56 by 50 miles if you nasty.
Jesus.
And we're said to be committed by the beast, or beasts, that had formidable teeth, immense tails, and big bodies, I guess.
So dire wolves.
Basically dire wolves. But
Okay.
it's I'll get into that towards the end, because there are a bunch of different theories on what the actual beast could have been. Because 100 people died.
Oh.
So at a certain point,
Well, how many years was that again?
1764. That's by 1764 standards too. That'd be like 1,000 people today.
I mean, that's a huge population. Yeah.
That is a lot of people.
For 100 people.
Yeah, victims were often killed by having their throats torn out.
But 3 years of this for 100 people, that's like one every 2 weeks,
Pretty much.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Baby's got to eat.
Baby's gotta eat. The beast of Javaldon must feast.
Be
Wee.
Yes.
Does it coincide with the full moon?
And potato fries.
And potato fries. Palm frites.
Well, why did you pass me this cucumber?
Get this away. Sacre bleu.
I need some garnish. Where's the parsley?
There's the parsley. Yeah, but a lot of people were killed.
It's okay. They probably deserved it.
Oh, yeah. The number. Hardcore, Kim. Hardcore. Took that a second to finish.
I was like, wow. He just fucking spaced right over that one.
Okay, yeah, I'll agree. Yeah. The number.
Why were you out there in the first place, motherfucker? How did this fucking wolf get you, huh? You're probably doing something stupid that you didn't need to be out there.
It was just France. It's just what happened in France.
It's just 2 kids going to school again.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's the funny thing about it. Is
Well,
back in those
fucking
days,
homeschool then.
it really was just like, what were they doing? They probably went outside their house. Because France was just lousy at wolves. A lot of them, that's exactly what they did.
I went out for some firewood.
There were estimated to be 210 attacks, resulting in 113 deaths and 49 injuries. 98 of the victims killed were partially eaten.
That'll be a waste.
Where other sources claim it killed between 60 to 100 adults and children, as well as injuring more than 30.
See, that tells me it can't be a wolf, because wolves bury their food.
Well,
They come back for it.
they eat, yeah. Well, that's the interesting thing, too, because, yeah.
So it ate once every 3 weeks?
It probably
And
was
half the
eating
body.
deer and shit, too. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of
How many
wildlife.
reports of half-eaten carcasses out in the woods? So?
Well, not a lot, because people weren't going out, because every time they did, the beast of Javaldon would show up. I am here to sing some poetry at you and smoke my cigarette.
And hopefully
while
you
giving
will
lousy
forgive me
reviews.
for fucking your wife.
Yeah, forgive me for fucking. The beast of Javaldon knows no mercy. It was generally said to look kind of like a wolf, but be as big as a calf. It had a large dog-like head with small straight ears, a wide chest, and a large mouth with very large teeth. The beast's fur was said to have been red in color, but its
Like
back
the witches.
was streaked with black. For the devil was there. No, I added that last part. Basically, he carried out the first attack in 1764 on a young woman who was tending cattle. And the cows actually fought back. That was one of the injuries because it injured her. But her cows and her bulls were like, "The fuck you doing?" Yeah, and came to the rescue and scared it away. Shortly afterwards, though, it killed its first victim, a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Oh, was she outside?
Yeah. Was she outside? It's the Middle Ages. Don't go outside.
Fuck no, there's plague everywhere.
That's also another thing. This is during the time where there's plague everywhere. So
quarantine, bitches.
Quarantine, bitches. Yeah. For the later months of 1764, a lot more attacks were reported, and terror had gripped the populace. Because the beast was repeatedly preying on lone men, women, and children as they tended livestock in the forest around Gévaudan.
Get your asses back inside, kids.
Yeah, and it was a stone cold killer too. Was what made it crazy because everyone who it attacked said that it knew basically to go straight for the neck, straight for the back of the neck.
That's something a cat does.
Yep, that's something a cat does, or a dog.
My fucking cat does that to me all the time. She goes for my fucking jugular, and then she crawls up my back.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Ow.
Yeah, people started thinking it might not even be one. So there might be a pair of beastlies that were roaming the area, feasting on flesh, and that would make it, a little more plausible than just one character.
So that's what I always believed about Sasquatch. There's more than one. Because when they abduct children, they can't make it 300 fucking miles on their own. The child's like a fucking baton. You pass it off to the next Sasquatch and they run with the child. Sorry, we're getting off subject.
Getting off the subject.
Sorry.
On January 12th, 1765, that is a very specific date. Jacques Portifex and 7 friends were attacked by the beast. After several attacks, they drove it away by staying grouped together. Fire. Yeah. The encounter, just imagine it just walking up to him, just the French. I am the beast of Gévaudan. Why do you not cower? We will not cower. We are also French. Okay, then I will go. Yeah.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Yeah, the counter eventually, Louis the 15th, Louis.
My 8th grade
XV. Who awarded 300 livres to Portifex and 350 to be shared amongst his companions.
I believe it's pronounced Puffus.
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 Why don't you watch The Brotherhood of the Wolf with me again?
The Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Every touch of, oh yeah.
The king also declared, and this is the big one too, because, modern days it's like $300. Yay. Pay for my college?
A fucking 300-acre palace out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
He was educated for free education. And then they declared that the French state would help find the beast. They did some pretty silly things. They sent out some different groups of hunters. There was one thing that they supposedly did where they all dressed as women because they believed that it knew and would attack. Like they could fool it, basically. He goes after the women. Pass me my dress. But yeah, and then there was some interesting stuff. And they came with bloodhounds, and one guy said he killed it, shot a big ass wolf, and he was like, "This is it," and he had it stuffed and brought back to the king. His name was.
I heard it was.
Oh yeah, fake. That's right. There were 2 people, and one of them had an incredibly long name, and his son had such a short name. Jean-Charles Marc Anthony Samuel de Envers, and his son Jean-François. France. And Jean
France.
Francois. He just goes by Jean. Yeah.
You can also just call him boy.
You can call him boy. Yeah, they killed a lot of wolves too. They didn't just kill the one. They were basically just wolf murdering.
They were literally just
wolf murdering. Yeah, like one of these.
They went out in packs of like how we did today search for humans, where we just rake through the forest and shit. They did that with guns for the wolves. They actually did that for every animal. So a lot of fucking critters and deer and shit were just shot for fun along the way.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, those were the first pair, and they got replaced by Francois Antony, who wrongfully named Anthony de Breton. Butter. The king's habiters, bearer, and lieutenant of the hunt, who arrived in Les Mis.
Thank you.
That confused me. Sorry. And Antony was the one who killed the very large wolf and said, "This is a wolf." And then he brought it back, and then he got a knighthood, I believe, and he got land and titles, and then he got all that taken back once the killing started up again. Like, that was totally the one. What about that beast over there mauling on somebody?
No.
No.
That's fine. That's in a different kingdom. Yeah. That's Spain. It's not our problem anymore.
Yeah. That's totally West Chavaudon. That's not East Chavaudon.
That's the Spanish chupacabra, man. It's no longer the werewolf of France. Because it's in France. Because now it is Spanish. Ole.
The Spanish, yeah.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. And that's like...
Yeah.
If you look at a map, that's pretty much like almost the center of fucking France. It's actually southwest.
Yeah. Eventually it was killed after a dozen more deaths. It only killed a dozen more people. And that guy's still in France, and he's like, "No, that was the wolf. It's a different wolf." Yeah. And it was eventually...
It had a baby. It grew up.
Killed by a local hunter during a hunt organized by a local nobleman. This is the guy you remember. Marquis d'Apter. The Marquis. Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah, and then he also, writers embellished it and also said that he shot the creature with a blessed silver bullet. And from what they said, when they cut open the animal's stomach, it was full of human remains. So it had eaten some people.
Beforehand. We don't know where. They were just hermits out in the woods.
Maybe it wasn't Chavaudon. Maybe it was somewhere else. How do we know?
Well, no way of knowing. And a few dead rabbits in there mixed in.
Yeah, there were all kinds of myths too. That was the interesting thing. Is of course that kind of situation going down turns into tons of myths, like the belief that was passed around that it was someone turning into a wolf, that it was a werewolf. Full-on werewolf. They were turning into a wolf and murdering people and turning back was one of the ideas. A lot of people since then have also passed on ideas that it could have been other creatures. Like, people still talk about it and come up with ideas. Like, the last one I saw was like a hyena. Like a giant hyena.
An hyena.
Hyena.
A dire hyena.
A dire hyena. A dire hyena. Yes, pretty much. Lions. That was one thing that people thought. Some type of, maybe a liger. Some type of lion crossbreed where it doesn't look totally like a lion. Because also people were, terrified in the middle of nowhere. So most of them wouldn't have ever seen a big cat like that before.
The only stories they ever hear is when they walk to the marketplace
and if you do,
miles away.
You'd see the mane. Because anyone who would draw it would draw a lion with a big-ass mane. If it didn't have a mane, You could be like, what's this weird creature?
I brought it back with me from Africa, and I just let it loose.
Yeah, and that's most
pretty
likely
much
what they assumed happened.
What happens around America, too.
Another one was
Can't
the
take
idea...
care of my tiger. Let me let it loose in Texas. Good luck, kids.
The idea that it was actually a mastiff crossbreed. Possibly a mastiff bred with a wolf.
Jesus.
That was owned by Jean Chastel, the hunter who killed it, and that he was actually using it, and it was armored. He would basically put boar hide on it.
Jesus.
Because the boar hide's going to be stronger, and that's what made it look
like a wolf.
Like a very strange animal.
That's
and what confused everyone, and he was using it to kill people.
Jesus.
His war dog. But that's that's not confirmed. Not confirmed.
None of it's really confirmed.
Yeah, none of it's really confirmed. But I like to think it was a werewolf.
Stories, dude.
Yeah. But also, too, there's the other idea that's probably the most realistic idea. Mm-hmm. That it was a wolf. Probably a big wolf, but probably not just one wolf. Probably a group of wolves. Possibly a situation, because it was so lousy with wolves there. Mm-hmm. They had such a wolf problem that wolf attacks were already happening all the time.
Yeah, so common.
And if you combine those with the fact that, maybe there's 4 big alpha males that are just rolling around with the taste for human flesh.
Yeah.
Then you could get that situation where homeboy's wolf culling.
We put down the animals these days that actually do get a taste for human blood.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So they don't turn into people.
Yes.
Everybody knows that, Kim. Duh.
We're just trying to inform the listeners.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking. That is not a thing. That is, they will not turn into people. But wouldn't that be funny, like a reverse werewolf? you bite a wolf and it turns into a dude. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, bro, you got to do taxes. What?
The fuck is that?
Taxes, they do, bro.
Stress yourself out, bro.
You need to get a job, man. You don't got nowhere to live.
Nightmare for an animal. Yeah. Oh my god. Humans are so fucking complex.
What happened to Bill? Jesus. We don't talk about Bill. He's a were-human now. Every midday he turns into a dude. Has to run off to a day job.
Sounds like a Wen dude.
Wen dude. Yeah. Oh, I never thought of it like that.
The when and where.
Yeah. This one, and I'm gonna do this one real quick because we are getting long. We're about done, but I just have to mention it. I won't go into depth because a ton of other podcasts have beat this to death. Pretty much any paranormal podcast or true crime podcast has talked about this at this point.
Oh.
The Werewolf of Bedburg.
Who?
The Werewolf of Bedburg. Who?
Excuse me?
Yeah. The Werewolf of Bedburg. Don't you know?
No, I didn't.
Peter Stooby, Stubble, Stump. Abel Griswold.
He goes by all these names.
Yeah, he literally does. Was a farmer in Bedburg who had a widow, and he was a peasant, and he had 2 children, and a bunch of people started dying, and cattle were getting mutilated, and women and children were disappearing from their homes. Some were horribly mutilated. Apparently, some were even raped, they said.
I mean, that's already a thing.
But they were all believed to have been from a wolf.
Oh. Well, that's different.
Yeah, everyone thought it was a wolf.
Raped by a wolf.
Yeah. But, so there's a whole church thing going on here, too, which is an interesting side about it. There's a whole church thing where 2 churches are basically competing to get this area. So a lot of this is very questionable as to what really happened, the depth of what happened. Was the guy really guilty? All these things. But basically people were even fearing that it was a werewolf. It was a devious creature. A werewolf. Oh. But he wasn't.
Who's just a deranged lunatic.
He had a wolf cloak. Yeah. But he would cloak himself with the skin of wolf. And he said he had a magic belt that he got from Satan himself at age 12. And he put it on and turn into the likeness of a wolf and go out and do some wolfing. He would wolf around.
He thought he transformed into a wolf. Really, he just looked like a man with feathers thrown at him, covered in tar.
Look at me, I'm a wolf. No, you're not, Peter.
You're not fooling anyone with that disguise, motherfucker.
But even what he said is hard. It's hard to necessarily believe because he said it after a lot of torture. Basically, he confessed to the crimes, but he confessed after a lot of torture.
How many hours?
I think it was in the 20s. I'm not sure.
See, yeah, bitches. People were more weak-minded back then.
Oh, no.
So they caved in under 24 hours.
This is before cruel and unusual punishment was a thing. When they tortured hard. Even though when we get to how they killed him, that's like one of those where you're like, that doesn't sound fun. Basically, he, at one point, the legend says at one point, the hunters had cornered the wolf creature and chased it, and it jumped into a well. And when they came to the well, Peter's stib was in the bottom of it. But that could also have been an excuse to make him sound more guilty.
They threw him into the well.
And then they went to his house.
They tied him to the flagpole and they blamed it on him.
They went to his house and they took his daughter and his sister because they believed that he was, they were all performing satanic rituals and he was having an incestuous relationship with both of them.
Just like Game of Thrones. Historical fiction.
Yeah, I mean, there is historical fiction. You son of a bitch. Yeah, basically, he killed a lot of people. There were a lot of children, pregnant women. The nastiest thing is
they can't run that fast.
He ripped the fetuses from the pregnant women's wombs.
Ooh.
And ate their hearts, panting hot and raw. Described them as dainty
Sprinkled
morsels.
some pepper on.
Yeah, dainty morsels. Like, what is this, Hannibal Lecter?
Wow, no, I didn't even know anything about this.
Yeah, this is pretty burly because he even confessed to being a werewolf. So if you're believing his confession, he confessed to having that belt where he would turn into the wolf. He even said he fucked a succubus. And he got away with it because he was a werewolf and made a deal with the devil.
Yeah, I'm going to say torture.
Might have been. Maybe they were just feeding him things. They're reading the ye old Game of Thrones. So did you do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Did you do this other thing?
As you're ripping.
I didn't do that. Yeah, exactly. Those fingertips.
I did it. Stop.
So to make a big hubbub about it, they took him and his sister and daughter, who were his consorts, to the square, like town execution square.
Jesus.
Attached them to wheels and made them watch while they peeled, basically flayed him with hot pokers. And then they cut his head off.
Let me flay you first and then cut your head off.
And then they burned his body with the girls.
They were alive?
They were alive to watch it all.
Jesus.
Yeah, they got burned alive. Because they could have been witches, you never know.
Jesus.
But then, just to make it sure people didn't do any more werewolfery, they put up the torture wheel in the basically over the town square. They put up the torture wheel with the picture of a wolf on it, and his head on top of it on a pike.
Beware!
Beware! Don't be a werewolf.
We will find you.
Don't you go a wolfing.
We will find you all in the well. We will push you into the well.
The well.
And we will make you confess to a crime you did not commit. We will say weird shit about Christianity. The devil gave you this.
The devil gave you a belt, right? No. Where did that even come from? I said the devil gave you a belt, right? Okay.
All you gotta do is say yes, and most of this will go away.
I'll get the Beast of Javudon in here. I am just standing in the hall, smoking cigarettes, thinking about things, and drinking coffee. But yeah, that's a Halloween werewolf spectacular.
Nice.
Hope you folks enjoyed it. There's a ton more werewolf stories out there. You know, I just kind of skimmed over some ones I wanted to talk about.
Sounds good. Good match.
Yeah, if you want to know more about werewolves, check out the Gilgamesh episode or the Volsung Saga, which is actually a saga. I'm pretty sure we did it in 2 or 3 episodes, but it's pretty good. It covers a lot of shit. Yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, tell your friends.
Tweet it.
Yeah, turn into a wolf at night, and instead of howling, just be like, listen to High Mythology.
I like it.
I like it. Yeah, be safe out there. Have
as long
fun.
as it's not after 7:30. No peace ordering.
Yeah, be fun. Have safe. No peace ordinance. Get that peace ordinance. Yeah. Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Night.